Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? And today, briefly, I wanted to talk about Nancy Mace. She's the Republican from South Carolina who's been making some headlines lately. Um, she's the one that, strolled around with the letter A on her shirt, trying to make some kind of statement with this performance art, which is kind of silly because if I'm not mistaken, she was getting a lot of heat because she wasn't willing to call out Jim Jordan, who at the time was a potential candidate for Speaker of the House, which we know that kind of fell through. So after getting some backlash because she wouldn't speak out against his questionable past, she does what a lot of members of the GOP does, play the victim. Let me go out and make a scene and say, look, this and that, I'm here and trying to put on this tough girl act, which it's kind of hollow and it's all just an act, okay? First of all, the book The Scarlet Letter was based on adultery, not political backlash that she was going through. So it also kind of tells me I don't think she read the book. But that's not even the most shocking thing, because here's the thing about Nancy Mace. She's not stupid. And she leans towards the right. She's a Republican, but I don't think she leans to the extreme right. However, I don't think she's willing to call out as far as, some of the fascist behavior we've seen going on with the MAGA right extremists. And to say something about Donald Trump. Because, one, if I'm not mistaken, she's a hypocrite as far as religious values go. She was recently committed adultery. I could be wrong there. But the one thing I am certain on is that she did this interview with Charlemagne the God on The Daily Show. Even though it's Comedy Central, he tried to put on like a serious interview with her. And when asked about what was going on between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, she brought up a point that Joe Biden had sent money to his grandchildren. And that supposedly came from communist China. Now, of course, to me, the word communist, she does it more like as a buzzword, a dog whistle, throw it out there to make it sound incriminating. Now, would that be questionable on Biden's part? Perhaps, but is it illegal? That's the thing I don't understand. I'm not a legal expert. This is what we do know so far. They launched the impeachment inquiry. It didn't go nowhere. They've done investigations into his son, Hunter Biden, who was found guilty of certain crimes, but nothing serious to the extent of, like, let's say, for example, what Donald Trump is going through. And furthermore, in the impeachment inquiry, they demonstrated that the witnesses were there, had no evidence, and that the emphasis was more on Hunter, and in spite of what Hunter Biden did, they found no ties to his father. Now, as far as the bereavement job, is that questionable? Yeah. Is it an act of nepotism? Yeah. But again, is it illegal? Is it an impeachable offense? I don't believe it is. Now, I could be mistaken, but again, it's still trying to make this move to impeach Joe Biden, which she seems to be in support of, but it's not going anywhere. It's just crashing and burning, all right? Why? Because it seems more like a political football, like play tit for tat. Like Trump got impeached twice, so we got to try and impeach Joe Biden to even the score, and it's going nowhere. But when Charlemagne asked Nancy Mace about, how she feels about the evidence on Donald Trump, whether that has any merit, and her response is, this is where she crashed and burned in the interview. She was like, I didn't look at the evidence and everything. Really? You have a former president who may have committed some serious crimes, from election fraud by working with fake electors to overturn the results, like January 6th, to holding an insurrection, to the documents case where he, gave documents under sources. One, a contact in Australia, which could prove to be a serious compromise in security. And she never looked at any of that evidence? None of it? Gee, I wonder why. Okay, so to me, she's not only a liar, she's a hypocrite, and it's just a lot of selective outrage, and that she kind of falls along the lines of Marjorie Taylor Greene, only without the crazy, but way smarter. But again, like I said, not to the far extreme right, but enough to where that if fascism ever took a hold of America, she would play right along with it, okay? Because she's doing it right now. I don't trust her. I don't think she has the people's best interests at heart. Another example is when she brought up George Santos. She admitted to that what he did was wrong and everything, but she didn't go to the extreme where, as far as removing him from office, she supported. And the reasoning, which kind of makes sense, is that if he does get removed, that leaves a vacancy in the House, which could cause the GOP to lose their angle there, to lose the majority there. So she doesn't want to do that. So she's smart enough, again, like I said, to call him out, to call out some of the wrongdoing, but not so much to take more drastic actions against it. All right? The fact that, like I said, she says, "Oh, I didn't look at the evidence on Donald Trump." I'm not buying that for a second. I think she knows exactly what she's doing, which tells me she is not for the American people. She's not for the people of South Carolina, let alone the country. She's more than happy to fall in line with the MAGA GOP. And as you already know, Election Day is barely a week away, and in, I think, all states, if not most of them, or a lot of them, there is early voting going on, which is why I expect everyone to get out and vote. I don't know if it's time for her to be reelected, but if you get the chance, vote her out, because she's not doing anything for the American people. Vote blue. Why do I say that? Because it's not just about Mace, but this whole GOP on a whole has been proven to be more dysfunctional, more chaotic, and again, is not out for the American people. Vote blue across the board, because we got to do what we can to get rid of these MAGA extremists and those that are willing to get behind them, whether MAGA or not. Okay? If you're one that chooses to wait on Election Day, like I do, that's fine, okay? I'm off on that day, so that gives me plenty of time to go there and vote. But you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be down there. And like I said, some are already voting early, That's great. If you choose not to do that again, that's fine as well. But please, get out and vote, and let's start weeding out these troublemakers, all right? Because in the end, I can't say it enough. They are not going to do anything for America. They are going to serve up to one person. They are going to serve up to a fascist movement that does not benefit the people in any way. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope you understand.